Yeah, absolutely. So, this month we've kind of been focused more or less on this concept of abundance, on the energy of abundance, feeling abundance. We began the month by honoring our ancestors, remember, and celebrating the abundance of love that we experienced with loved ones who may have passed, and the gifts and the lessons that they brought us that we carry today. Do you remember that first Sunday? And then last Sunday, Reverend Chris Nygren was with us and shared with us how we all have the potential to connect with a deeper sense of the sacred and to open to mystical experiences. She talked about mystical experiences which are more common than we really realize, and how there's an abundance available to us when we connect with nature. And then the second week, I was sharing about practicing gratitude and practicing generosity, and how, it just feels so good. It feels so good to give. And not only does it just feel good to give, it benefits us in so many ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically even. And I gave you some examples of that. And practicing generosity really helps us connect with the larger whole, feel a part of the larger whole. Gives us a sense of fulfillment. And for those who really make it a focus of their lives, which some people do, it really provides a sense of purpose. And then we explored the idea that when we practice generosity, when we give abundantly, we are connecting with the natural impulse of nature. That when nature gives of itself in community, the community flourishes. And so that's where I want to start today, because today is our intentional giving ceremony. This is the time that we get to really make a sacred pledge to participate in that flourishing, right? We're participating in the flourishing. And this sort of is a natural growth that we're experiencing from really working on ourselves and working on consciousness and cultivating abundance, cultivating gratitude and generosity and this community, and really recognizing a desire to be in community with other people who are doing the same, right? It's a natural growth from the work that we have been doing, expanding our experience of abundance, of generosity, of joy. And, it's really, I think we really come to appreciate it, but maybe we forget. I think maybe we forget that long ago, before we really kind of realized what this was about, we may have been living a life where we were focused on lack, on what's wrong, on what's missing, on that it's just never enough. There never seems to be enough, or that we are never enough. The life we used to live before we discovered new thought. Can you remember back then? Before we knew that we live in an abundant universe, and that because we are this universe expressing, that's our nature, that we are abundant. Before we knew that we are beloved rays of light from the same one source. Before we knew how to activate the power of gratitude in our lives, thereby expanding our experience. Before we knew that we are infinite love expressing, and to see everyone else the same way. And that knowing that and living into that heals. It heals our lives. This is the consciousness that we have been growing and doing it together. And so now, of course, knowing this and practicing this and experiencing it, which is what we all do. We're all working on this. And then sometimes we forget, right? Just sometimes we forget. It's not easy to remember who we truly are, our divinity, when we're living in a world that is asleep and dreaming the dream of separation. That we're separate from Source, separate from each other, separate from our good. This dream of limitation, of focusing on what's missing and what's wrong. This dream of, this collective consciousness that's kind of mired in the evolutionary, this negativity bias that is kind of our evolutionary default mechanism, right? And sometimes we can get sucked into that. And so that's why we come here. That's why we come here, to be reminded of who we truly are. To be reminded that we are divine beings expressing, and that we are powerful co-creators. Because we are divinely human beings, we have the power to co-create more joy, more love, more abundance in our lives. We come here to be free of the hypnotic spell of the collective consciousness. It's a hypnotic spell that we can get sucked down into before we know it, right? Before we know it. And then we come here, and then we go, oh yeah, wait a second. I'm a co-creator. I'm spirit. I am an expression of the infinite divine, and so is everyone else. That we're all emanations of the same one divine. That's why we come here. And to not only know it, not only to be reminded of it, but to practice it, to experience it, to live into this, right? To live into the understanding of who we truly are. And then to remind others of how to live this really expansive idea of thinking and being and experiencing our mystical selves, right? That's the community I want to be a part of. Those are the people I want to hang with. Don't you? Yes. Yeah, right? I mean, what a blessing. As Brad shared, wow, what a blessing to be a part of this. What a gift. Look what we've created here. Something pretty special. And here's the thing. Together, with this evolving consciousness, we can help shift the collective consciousness, making it easier for others to awaken. Aho. I got an aho. Can I get an amen? An amen and an aho. And so it is? Maybe. Yeah, absolutely. And that is really our vision statement, isn't it? It's not just something that we say here on a Sunday. We live it. This is how we help the divine light awaken in all. We're helping to shift the collective consciousness, making it easier for others to awaken. Yes. Now, at the same time, we allow for our humanness too, don't we? We are divinely human beings. We also allow for our human feelings. We allow for that. Our grief, our sadness, our anger. I know in some communities, you kind of have to keep that hidden. It's like this is kind of this silent shame, like if you're not being perfectly spiritual. But not here. Here we support each other. We support each other on our journey toward wholeness. It's part of our mission statement. We're supported on our journey toward wholeness, and we're all on a journey toward wholeness. So we embrace each other when we grieve. And we forgive each other when we get angry. Now, we're working on ourselves, right? We're doing the work. We want to evolve. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. And at the same time, we love and accept ourselves exactly where we are, right here, as we are, where we are on our journey, in process. We are all in process. We're all in process of revealing more and more of who we are, peeling away the onion layer after layer. It's a process. And thank God we've got this spiritual community of others who are doing the same, who understand that, and we can be supported in it. That's what we're doing. And it doesn't always come just by sitting in a Sunday service. Hopefully you're inspired. You stay inspired. Hopefully your consciousness is expanding, your heart is expanding. You're feeling the love of community. I mean, that is healing in and of itself. But to really create transformation in your life, it sometimes takes a little more. That is why we offer classes and workshops and book study groups. And we just finished a mastermind, the Abundance Mastermind group. And we've now, thanks to lovely Irina back there, we've got a woman's circle. And I heard this morning a little rumor that there might be a men's group forming. And if you're interested in that, talk to Carmelo. Raise your hand, Carmelo. If you're interested in that, go talk to him. Get that going. So these groups where we can be ourselves and we can just open and share and just non-judgmentally be loved and supported. Opportunities, we provide opportunities to be of service where we can exercise our giving muscles and be in, to do social events where we can really connect with each other. Again, that's the community I want to be a part of. It's the people I want to be with because together we're working on that transformation. We're loving and accepting ourselves exactly as we are, where we are, and we're allowing for the emergence of something even greater, a greater idea, a higher idea, a more fuller expression of who we truly are. And I think we appreciate it even more than we ever have now because of the scare that happened earlier this year. We had this scare, for those of you who are just kind of joining us now. We did. At the beginning of the year, there was, if we didn't have a more robust financial support that, projecting out the next few months, we were looking at the possibility of closing our doors. If we didn't have that financial support to continue to pay staff and take care of the building and all of the things that go into offering all of this, that it looked like maybe that was the end of the story. And I think we all realized what that would mean for all of us. So we all stepped up. You all stepped up. We all came together and rolled up our sleeves, dug deep in our hearts and in our wallets. And we did. We overcame that shortfall, and we got back on track, and even better than ever, a more solid foundation. Woohoo! Can I get an aho? Yes. We did. And so that's kind of part of what we're doing today with the intentional giving cards, because those give us an idea of what is coming in so that we can plan better, so that we know how many programs and experiences that we can provide or not. We need to know in order to plan. So that's kind of part of what this is. But on a deeper level, it's really an affirmation of our desire to support your community and to be supported in our spiritual growth. We're saying, yes, I want to be supported in my spiritual growth. I want to be part of a community that is all about that, that's all about allowing a higher idea, a fuller expression of my full potential to emerge. What can I do? How much fuller can I express? How good can it get? Reverend Michael Beckwith always says that. He says, how good can it get? We're always talking about how bad can it get? How bad? We can figure out how bad it can get, right? We can really get into that. But stand in our truth and say, how good can it get? Let's say that together. How good can it get? Yes. Making that commitment to that desire to say yes to this, and to be in this energy.